The Life of Chuck is hitting limited theaters this weekend, and I've got multitudes to talk about. Let's get into this. Welcome to the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams. Today we've got a spoiler-free review for The Life of Chuck. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of try to dive into this as much as I can. When I say spoiler-free, it's really kind of hard because there's nothing really well known about this particular movie. So first off, right off the bat, this is a movie that is based off of a short Stephen King story, much like, say, The Shawshank Redemption or Stand By Me with the Body. These were smaller stories that were a part of an anthology book series. So, that being said, the story of this movie is out there and available for you to find out. It's weird because, like, in none of the trailers, none of the websites that really are used to promote movies, does anything actually give any kind of indication as to what this movie is about. Like, even IMDb, if you go to IMDb's page, which I'll pull up here for you in real time, it says, a life-affirming, genre-bending story based on Stephen King's novella about 3 chapters in the life of an ordinary man named Charles Krantz. That doesn't tell you jack. So, that being said, I'm not really here to fully tell you exactly what is involved in this movie or how this movie is or what. This is going to be a hard movie for a lot of people to talk about for that reason. So I'm going to try to do my best going forward. That being said, the one thing I will say about this movie, and if you're familiar with the novella story, the short story, you'll know this already. This movie is non-linear. Or it is linear, it's in 3 acts, and it just starts with the 3rd act, then 2nd, then 1st. So, it is non-linear, but we're basically telling the story in reverse. And for a good reason. The other thing I will say about this movie is, it's not going to give you answers. This movie doesn't answer any questions. Typically, movies, they start out with like, hey, here's what's going on in this movie, and by the time the movie's over, you've got an answer as to how it's resolved, how all the characters are moving on. This movie doesn't do that. This movie doesn't provide answers, it provides understanding. And that's one of the things I really liked about this movie is it plays on a subject that we are all familiar with, life. And it gives you another way of understanding, another viewpoint as to how life is. And I like how this movie sets it up, how this movie tells that story. It's a very interesting point of view that is going to require multiple viewings to really fully absorb the feelings and emotions and the understanding that this movie gives. For that reason alone is why I'm doing this review by myself, even though my brother, the other Cinefanatic, did go and see this movie with me. He's just processing a lot of this, and it is kind of hard to word how to describe this movie. I'm doing my best here as much as possible. The cast is phenomenal. This is a stacked cast. While some members of this cast really only have one scene. Like, best example I could think of, Matthew Lillard, who's in this movie for just the one scene. But even if they're limited in scope for what they do in this movie, every character that is in this movie that interacts with, like, another character at some form or fashion, there's a very logical reason as to why that character's existence exists in this movie. They're all part of this larger story of life, and I love that. It's not, you don't necessarily need to go in following any one particular character. Yes, we do spend a lot of time with Chiwetel Ejiofor's character. His character, I probably think we spend at least the most time with in the first act or two, or the third act or two, however you want to number it. But, and you would think that with Tom Hiddleston being the lead that we would follow him a lot more. We actually don't pick up on him till like the second act, but from then on, it's all Chuck all the time, baby. It's a very interesting, like, I love trying to talk about this movie. This movie's going to be a lot more fun to talk about later on when everyone's just openly talking about it. There's no spoilers. There's no anything we need to keep hidden. It's going to be fun to talk about there, but it's really fun to talk about when you can't talk about it. And I love that. So yes, going back to the cast, a lot of this cast you will recognize from other Mike Flanagan films, if you're a Mike Flanagan fan like I am. I am a Flanagan fan. I absolutely love it. I've met both him and his wife, Kate Siegel, who's also in this movie. I met both of them at Fantastic Fest last year, and it's easily one of the highlights out of all the celebrities that I meet at these events. Mike Flanagan and his wife are easily like top tier for me. I love Dr. Sleep. I love Hush. I love what they're putting out. Was it Gerald's Game? They do some great stuff, and I like getting to meet them, getting to now be essentially a part of this movie by watching it and seeing what they did. It's just phenomenal. Mike Flanagan is amazing at adapting Stephen King projects after Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep. He's just really good at doing these, and I love seeing his take, his spin on a lot of these stories and what he can bring to the table with it. So yeah, you got a lot of his usuals that you've seen in a lot of his other movies as well. Again, this movie is not horror at all, whatsoever. So if you've been wanting to experience Mike Flanagan, but you don't want to get into all of his horror movies, this is the movie for you. Visual-wise, the movie is gorgeous. It is beautiful. Cinematographer Eben Bolter. It's just a gorgeous movie. The palette, the color palette, the saturation, all the stuff that we see. Like there's a couple of shots at night where like the lighting that's used is very, very bright, very vivid, and it's just cool to look at. The night sky with the stars is just gorgeous. They did a phenomenal job with the look of this movie, which makes sense once you realize what we are actually watching in this movie. So I love how it does that too. Otherwise, I don't know how much else I can really say. It's a celebration of life from a certain viewpoint. And it's getting to learn who Charles Krantz is, Chuck, throughout all of this movie. And then you see how he is living his life, how his life came to be, essentially. What are the things that he was raised with, or the thoughts, the feelings, the people around him. It's just all very thought-provoking and does require multiple viewings. I can't wait to watch this movie again, and what I'm going to have a lot of fun with is ranking this with all the other Stephen King drama movies, which will be up on this channel. So make sure you like, make sure you comment, and of course make sure you subscribe so you get notified when that ranking drops. It will be over the course of the next few days. I know we're also going to go see Ballerina in a couple of days, so there will be review and rankings for the John Wick movies as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, highly recommend go see this movie. It is rated R for a lot of language. There's no violence, there's no gore, there's a little bit of blood here in one spot, but it's not that big of a deal, essentially. But yeah, it's just a lot of language, and it's fun. It mixes the drama, the emotions, the humor. I highly recommend this movie. Music by the Newton Brothers, which if you've been following anything they've been doing, they are doing fantastic work as well. I love their remix of the X-Men theme that they did for X-Men 97. So highly recommend. Go check out this movie. Go watch it in a theater because the visuals, the cinematography look great on that big screen. The music sounds phenomenal coming out of a full surround sound speaker system. Just go watch this movie. You're going to love it. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this review. I know, I really didn't say very much, but once you see the movie, come back and comment below and let me know, hey, I understand why you really didn't talk about the movie that much. This is a movie that needs to be experienced, not watched. So go experience this movie in theaters. If it's playing near you, it should be expanded like worldwide, I guess, or at least nationwide in like another week or so. So go see this movie if you have the opportunity. Highly recommend it. Anyways, make sure you follow us again here on Cinefanatics. We are at The Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can find me at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, and YouTube.com/@RCA Reacts. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.